Gotta get ready for the Common Core. Gotta get the new standards.
The standards changed? I just opened up this one.
Gotta get the new standards.
I don't understand how this close reading is supposed to give students a deeper understanding.
Okay, so for Common Core, you're just going to get me a new textbook, right? So I can just get rid of this one, right? New textbook.
Common Core.
Wait, they're not called career and college readiness standards? Jeez, and I just got a new TAT for that.
Gotta get the new standards.
Hey Kathy, I know you said we needed to work on our Common Core, and that's exactly what I'm doing. 458, 459.
Everybody's gotta be ready next year. Gotta get ready.
The math department has been working on curriculum maps to align to the Common Core, and I would say we're kind of at least 50% of the way through of writing those. But the more important question that we've been asking ourselves is how are we going to deliver the material? Because I think that's the biggest change between what we've taught before and what we're teaching next year. Common Core doesn't want kids to just learn on the surface. It wants them to dive deeper into the understanding of the concepts. And so finding a way to deliver that material is probably the one thing that, and to align it to the mathematical practices. There are 8 of those, and we're being held accountable to those as well. So finding the ways to deliver the material in a way that aligns with the mathematical practices and has kids dig deeper into the content, that's what I think we're really been talking about, is how can we teach this in a better way.
The middle school science department has been preparing for a change in standards for about 3 years. At that point, we worked out a plan of transition. In the meantime, but especially in the past 12 months, we have written new learning targets, enduring understandings, and essential questions to fit these new standards. We continuously work to ensure that our learning targets are student-friendly and meet the challenging expectations of these new standards. Next year, we will fully implement the new standards.
The Language Arts Department has been incredibly deliberate in our approach to transitioning to the Common Core. We've investigated other districts' designs to fully understand the instructional shifts, to create what's best for our department and what's best for the kids here at Bunsold.
We've done a lot of work to prepare for next year. The social studies standards actually came out in 2010. They were approved. So as a department, 7th and 8th grade decided we would go ahead and shift, because at the same time they also got rid of our Ohio Achievement Assessment. So we didn't see any reason to hold back, and we thought whenever they do, or if they do bring back another assessment, that we'll be ahead of the curve. So we've actually been developing our maps now for a little while, and we've been this is their 3rd year teaching the new standards. As far as our work continuing, right now what we're really working on is really scaffolding our learning targets and making sure that we're building kids to a higher level of thinking. We're also now just starting the process of very purposefully including the ELA standards actually in our curriculum map.
The intervention specialists at the middle school have been able to have an inclusion model that allows us to work with the regular ed teachers and co-teach in language arts and in math. This model has allowed us to work with the departments at developing maps and at looking at the standards and the model curriculum in order to address the needs of our students. We have then been able to go in and differentiate instruction that meets the needs of all the students in the class, but also will be in line with the curriculum.
The extended standards are truly just an extension of the Common Core. The format is very similar. We have the strands and the grade bands and the topics and the skills that we're supposed to work on with the kids. They are actually broken down into 3 complexities, so we have different ladder steps that we can take with the kids, which is really nice, so that we can take them up or down as they need to. So it really is just the same thing as the Common Core, but for our special ed population. Right now we are implementing them in our content classes, so I teach math and social studies. So every day in math we take one part of the class and just do a group instruction with the lesson. So the kids are really getting exposed to a lot of new skills that they never would have before. So I think it's great because they're actually showing us things that we didn't think they were able to do. So we're exposing them to more, and they're showing us and impressing us with the new things they can do. concerns for me are that we have a short amount of time, especially before our audit assessment, that we have to test them on all of this stuff. So we have to, I'm thinking 1 skill a day, and we're just going through 1 skill a day. So that's all the exposure my kids are getting in math right now, is just that 1 skill.
Decreasing the number of standards that we have to teach. Right now, we teach so many standards that we only can just brush the surface, and then we have to move on because we have so many other things we need to cover. Now we can really have kids understand why they're doing what they're doing and really look for real-life applications outside of the classroom. I would say the other thing that we're excited about is the delivery. Having kids discover what they're learning and really argue with kids about why it is the way it is or why it's not the way someone thinks it is, and really have those conversations. I think that's exciting for education and for the math department to move forward.
The department is most excited about a narrower focus of topics, which allows for more in-depth study. We're excited to see students gain a deeper understanding of these science concepts. This will be accomplished through more hands-on, inquiry-based activities and lessons. The focus will be on higher levels of learning in each content area, and we foresee students enjoying these changes as well.
One thing that we're excited about with the new standards is the focus on higher comprehension skills and the focus on the role of argument in reading and writing. But what we're most excited about is the new standards push students, all students, to be more reflective, more analytical, and more critical in their thought process.
Some of the things we're really excited about are the ability to really make social studies relevant. That's something that we've worried about, and so being able to focus on those other strands of economics, geography, and government have really, we think, have really allowed us to become more relevant. We also think there's a lot more opportunity for those 21st century skills in the new standards. So project-based learning, collaborative group work, and also working interdisciplinary with language arts is something that we've started working on and that we hope to continue working on.
Our biggest fear is that with the Common Core, that some of the skills that the students will be expected to know are too difficult for some of the students. So that will really come into play when it comes to planning lessons and really differentiating the lessons we already have in place as well as developing new lessons.
Math is not the same as it used to be 10, 20 years ago. It is so different. So we really need to, one, let go of those old ways, but two, I would say the other thing that we're nervous about is finding the questions that really get kids to think. Not just the surface level, the knowledge base, or maybe one level, but it's way deeper and getting them to understand what they're doing and why they're doing it and really think.
The biggest challenge for us will be in having materials and supplies in order to meet these new in-depth learning standards. We will need to complete more labs and use more technology. Our departments will need additional funds and supplies to ensure that we are meeting the state's cognitive demands. The 8th grade has written a grant to hopefully relay some of these costs. Common Core anchor standards for reading and writing will ask that our students do more purposeful reading and writing within our classrooms. While we feel we already incorporate many nonfiction reading strategies into our classrooms, we know that we will need the help and support of our language arts colleagues in order to ensure that our students are developing 21st century skills in reading and writing as well as communication in order to succeed in their colleges and careers.
One of our challenges is to increase text complexity. This is problematic because some of the texts we've considered have the appropriate lexile but really lack substance. On the other hand, some complex texts lack relevancy. They're just irrelevant for the kids today. So our challenge is we are on the hunt to find texts that are complex and relevant and provocative for middle level students without pilfering from the high school.
I think our biggest fear is that as we try to really meet the expectations of the state and of the district, that at the same time we keep in mind that at the end of the day it's about what's best for kids. And so every time we have the discussions about what we need to do, move forward and do what's expected, we always are also having the discussion about, is this really what's best for all of the kids in our classroom and help them have a better future.
The biggest thing that we're excited about is that we really are excited to work with the teachers and to develop new lessons as well as pick new materials that will not only engage the students but will be on a more independent level for them as well as be in line with the Common Core.